Hey friends, good afternoon. Lois with Ellie Grace's Attic here, coming at you today from our shop, aka the garage. We had quite an eventful afternoon. Finn, get out of the trash. Sorry, real life. The puppy dog's out here with me and he likes to sniff the trash. I almost thought I was almost gonna have to come up with a whole different live because our power went out. And with the weather being so crazy the last week, it has flickered on and off a couple of times, but like it just kind of didn't come back on today. And I was like, oh no, I was gonna do a live in the garage building a sign. But anyway, praise the Lord, it came back on. It is sunshining today, which was really weird because yeah, no bad weather today, but the power just went out. So it's nice today. So we are getting some signs ready for orders. All of our signs at Ellie Grace's Attic. First of all, let me back up. I said my name was Lois, but let me give a proper introduction. For those of you who don't follow me or don't know, my name is Lois East. I own Ellie Grace's Attic, and we give old treasures new life with handcrafted love. We primarily do wooden signs for folks. We do tons of custom orders. People call us, give us their ideas, and we help bring their vision to life on a sign. And so that's what we're doing today, but all of our signs are built right here in our shop, the garage. We work with lots of reclaimed wood, pallet wood, but we also do new wood as well. So unless you specifically request a reclaimed wood, typically it's new wood. So but we build all of our signs, we get the wood, we cut the wood, which you can't see, but I have a miter saw over there, and that's what I've done today. Before I got on the camera, I wanted to spare you those details because it's kind of loud. So I've cut, and I'm gonna try to turn the camera where you can see where we start. Oh, and yeah, there's my husband's motorcycle. First rule of thumb, if you're gonna work in the shop, always cover the motorcycle with a sheet, because when you sanding dust gets everywhere. I really don't care about my car. My car is over there, but always cover up, you know, the good stuff. My car, I can't keep my car clean. But anyway, I'm gonna try to, I got my work table here. I'm gonna try to get it to where you guys can see. Just pardon me as I move I think you can see it. Sand and dust also gets up your nose. I took my mask off too soon. Okay, so I cut the wood. I had a 4-foot piece of wood. I cut it down into two 24-inch, this is gonna be a vertical sign, but so it's gonna be 22 24-inch pieces. These are about 6 inches wide. So together it's gonna make a sign about approximately, and what you have to know about wood, when you read the label for this piece, this board, it was one long board. When you read the label, it says 6 inches by, I think this original piece was 8 foot. Yeah, this really 5 3/4. It's not, you know, wood, it's give or take. So this is approximately going to be 12 inches wide by 24 inches long. So we have our two pieces of board put together. I have used a hand sander, this little guy. Now, let me just say this. When we first started, we've grown a bunch. When we first started, I worked with sheets of sandpaper and some good gloves, and I hand sanded. This is called a hand sander or a palm sander because you hold it like this. But when I first started, every sign was sanded by these two little hands and a sheet of sandpaper. It took me a little longer, but it got the job done, and there was sweat equity in every sign. There's still some sweat equity, but just not as much. So anyway, my sweet husband got me this the first Christmas after I started Ellie Grace's Attic, and this right here, my friends, game changer. Game changer. I love this. It's my favorite little tool. I am vying for a planer, but I still love this guy. So one day we'll get there, but right now we're happy with our hand sander. And but yeah, so we sand every sign down after we cut it to our desired length for the customer. We sand it down. I don't know if you can tell, it's smooth. We still leave, you know, we don't want to completely sand out. You can't get rid of the knot, but we don't want to, like, we left some of the natural, I'm gonna call it character, in the wood. But we get it as smooth as possible because that helps when we paint. We want as smooth surface as possible, but we still want to leave some of the good character. You can tell I haven't wiped this off, but before it gets painted, it will get wiped off with a damp cloth and then allowed to dry before we put any paint or anything on it. So this is what our sign's gonna look like, but we have to put it together, okay? So we're gonna flip these boards over because that's the front of the sign, so we're gonna put the brackets on the back. So we flip it over, and a lot of times, yeah, you gotta flip it flip it where it's the mirror image. Don't flip them like this, because if you've got it pieced together, that does make a difference. I learned that the hard way. So we get it together, we make sure our boards are as tight together as they will go. And then I've already, again, I did this before I came on, we use 1x2s for the brackets on the back. They're gonna hold our sign together. So I have cut these down. These are about 9 inches, give or take just a little bit. So 2 9-inch brackets, and I cut those on the miter saw as well, and then I just gave them a light sand. They don't have to be completely, we're not going to paint a design on these, but we want to get the rough off because this is the part that's going to touch somebody's wall. So you want it to be smooth. You don't want to leave any scratches on anybody's wall. And you don't want your customer to like get a splinter in their hand either. So we sand these down again, get all the rough spots off, and then they're gonna go on the back of our sign. So we kind of place them, there's no exact measurement for this part. I just try to center them between the top and the bottom. And there's probably about 6 inches from each end. Again, I don't measure this part. I don't get out the tape measure and make sure it's exact. We just kind of eyeball this part, okay? So, now we've got that done. And now, Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Wood Glue. This is what's gonna hold the sign together. You got to bear with me. I probably should have put this by the, I got a space heater going because even though the sun is shining, it's cold today. And my nose is running a little bit because I have no idea what season it is. Is it winter still? Is it spring? My sinuses don't know, and so they don't know what to do. So I'm sniffling just a little bit. So we're just gonna shake this up just to kind of get it flowing. When it's cold, this of course gets a little stiff and doesn't flow right. So sometimes you just have to hold it for a minute and share some body heat with it, or usually I have it by the space heater, but I moved it for today. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so I'm gonna use the flat side of this. There's actually a flatter side. They look the same, but one of them actually is flatter than the other. The one side usually has kind of rounded edges. You really can't see that on the screen. So I'm just gonna make a thin line of glue. Okay, you don't wanna, this is kind of like kindergarten 101. You don't wanna like glob all the glue, because when you press it down, it's gonna spread. And then you'll have glue all over the back of your sign, which this does dry pretty much clear, but you still don't want, it still will be visible. So I just made that thin line, and then I kind of spread it out with the tip, okay? And then we're just gonna flip it back over in the spot that we had it, or close to the spot, because we didn't mark it, we didn't measure it, and that's okay. We're gonna do the same thing with the other side. So we go through this process, like I said, for every sign. Every sign is built with my two little hands. If I'm super busy or behind, my sweet husband will get out here and help me. He also does the big cuts for me because, well, you don't want to move your sign like that because then everything gets crazy. Hold on. Anyway, he does the bigger cuts for me. I have not yet mastered the, not the table saw. Hold on. It's not the miter saw. It's the round one that you push. Where is it? This guy. This little guy right here. Whoop! Sand everywhere. I know how to use it, but I have not quite mastered the straight line. So, again, I'm buying for a table saw, and the table saw is the one that you just lay the wood and you push, and you don't have to move the blade. That I can handle. And I do use that saw occasionally on a smaller piece of wood, but for the bigger pieces, I let my husband do that because he's a pro. Plus, he's cute. It's fun to watch him work. All right, so our boards are together. The glue is not dry, but we want our signs to last for posterity. So in addition to the glue, we're also going to put some nails in here. So that will really hold them together, okay? Skill saw. Thank you, Angela. I know what it does. I just totally forget the name of that particular tool every time. All right, so now we have this together, and one of my other favorite tools, this was a gift from my father-in-law. This is a brad nailer or a nail gun, whatever you want to call it. It's not the big heavy-duty one, but it shoots the thinner, the smaller brad nails. It will also shoot staples. So this also was a game changer because before I got this tool, every sign I had to pre-drill little pilot holes in each bracket, and then we nailed them with nails. We nailed by hand with a good old hammer. So, which gave me muscles. But anyway, so hold on just a second. Let me make sure we're lined up, and then we're gonna nail this. I'm gonna make a little bit of noise. We're just gonna hold this in place so it doesn't slide while we nail. You just push it down, it's real simple, and then you shoot. It makes that nice little pop, and you are done in half the time with this tool, which is awesome. Hold our board down. And we're gonna come back and put a second nail. We usually do 4 nails in every bracket just to make sure it's good and on there. I have a wonderful father-in-law and a wonderful mother-in-law. Y'all say hi to Mom. She's on here teasing me. All right, so we have our 4 nails in. Now, we still do have to hammer because I don't know if you can see they didn't quite go in all the way. So, but 1 or 2 swings with the hammer is not as laborious as doing the whole thing. So we just come, and I'm gonna make a little noise, so pardon me. Just 1 or 2 little whacks gets it in, and we just kind of run our finger to make sure that it's sunk in there. Now it's good. Okay, so now they're good and sunk in there. Okay, we just run our fingers just to make sure everything's smooth, because again, this is the part that's going to be on someone's wall. So you don't want their wall to get scratched up, and you don't want anybody to scratch their fingers either. So anyway, that's our sign. It's put together. That's how they all look. Well, they come in all shapes and sizes, but this is what it looks like when it's just getting built. So 2 boards, 2 brackets, some glue, some nails. This will probably get another light sand on it. Then what we'll do is we'll wipe it down with a damp cloth just to get all the sawdust, the dusty part off. And then it will go either to paint or to stain. I don't have my design book with me, but I think this one is gonna get painted white, and then we'll sand the edges to kind of distress it after the paint dries. And I think it's gonna have black letters. But again, I don't have my design book with me. So anyway, that's how we build a sign. So thanks for hanging out with me today, getting to know our power tools, seeing Kim Hill, this is your sign. This is gonna be your sign. Are you so excited? I'm excited. I'm excited to paint it. Anyway, every sign we do, like I said, is built with these 2 little hands, built and painted, and so we love what we do. So I'm glad you could hang out, see how it's done, and I appreciate you guys. And maybe next time we come in the shop, we'll frame a sign. So I don't know, we'll see. So anyway, again, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. If you liked what you saw, make sure you hit the 3 little dots, click on those live notifications, give us some likes, give us some loves, and as always, share this video with your friends. So you guys have a great afternoon. I don't have the clock in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's almost time to go get my kids from school. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and in the meantime, happy crafting.